This was the garlic that I bought from the market. Nothing special. Just the ordinary garlic from the grocery store. To plant the garlic, you have to separate the cloves, making sure not to damage the skins. I chose the big cloves with no damage. I did 100% organic. No fertilizer and chemicals used. I only used homemade compost. First thing I did was to dig a hole about 2 inches deep. Next step was putting the cloves into the hole. I put the cloves standing. The bottom was on the soil, while the pointed end was on the upper. Next, I harvested a compost from my compost bin to cover the garlic cloves with compost. The compost was so rich with nutrients. As you can see, it's black in color. It has also eggshells on it. Eggshells are rich in calcium and other minerals that helps the garlic grow big and resist diseases. Eggshells deter slugs and snails and will protect the plant. "12 days after planting, the shoots started to come out. The height was almost 3 inches. October 17th when I planted another batch of garlic. October 21st, 18 days old, the garlic grew to 8 inches. October 28th, 11 days old, the shoot came out. October 28th, 25 days old, the height of the first garlic was 12 inches. November 4, 32 days after planting, the height of the garlic was 11.5 inches. The other garlic is now 18 days. November 11th, the height of the garlic was 12 inches. November 11th, 24 days after planting. This garlic is catching up. The only difference was the number of leaves. November 18th, the garlic was 45 days. The height of the garlic was 13 inches. It was also starting to grow more leaves as you noticed. November 18th, 31 days after planting. This garlic has 3 leaves compared to the other one which has 5 leaves. I guess 1 leaf is equivalent to 1 week. November 25th, 52 days after planting. The garlic height did not increase that much. But as you noticed, the stem and the leaves became bigger. November 25th, 38 days after planting. This garlic has 4 leaves compared to the other one which has 6 leaves. But as you can see, this garlic looks healthier. December 2nd, 59 days after planting. The height of the garlic remained the same. But as you noticed, it has now 6 leaves. December 2nd, 45 days after planting. This garlic now has 5 leaves, while the other one remained 6. December 9th, 66 days after planting. The garlic looked like it stopped growing. There no much difference a week before. December 9th, 52 days after planting. This garlic now finally has 6 leaves. They are now looks exactly the same with the other one. December 17th, 74 days after planting. The height and the number of leaves of the garlic remained the same. The only difference I noticed was the size of the stem. It's bigger a little bit. December 17th. 60 days after planting. This garlic looks remained the same with the other one. December 23rd. 80 days after planting. This garlic looks the same from last week. December 23rd. 66 days after planting. This garlic looks bigger and healthier. December 30th. 87 days after planting. This garlic looks the same. December 30th. 73 days after planting. This garlic also stopped growing. January 7th. 95 days after planting. This garlic has now 7 leaves. It also grew bigger. January 7th. 81 days after planting. This garlic also grew bigger. January 13th. 101 days after planting. This garlic stem grew bigger. January 13th, 87 days after planting. This garlic stem looks bigger than the other one. The leaves also looked healthier. January 25th, 113 days after planting. The garlic was growing bigger and healthier. January 25th, 99 days after planting. This garlic still bigger and healthier than the other one. I'm sorry, I don't have a video for the whole month of February. I was away from my garden. March 18th, 166 days after planting. I was surprised when I saw the garlic. It looks big and healthy. March 18th, 152 days after planting. This garlic was way more bigger and healthier than the other one. The diameter of the stem was almost double. March 31st, 179 days after planting. The garlic continued to grow bigger and healthier. I guess because of the weather. It's getting warmer. As you noticed, there are more leaves. March 31st. 165 days after planting. This garlic was growing crazy. It doubled the size. April 7th. 186 days after planting. This garlic continued to grow, as you can see. April 7th. 172 days after planting. This garlic was still way bigger than the other one. But as you noticed, the brown leaves are starting to appear more than the other one. I also noticed that this garlic was flowering before the other one. Was this garlic could be maturing first? According to the experts, you have to remove the flowers so the garlic can concentrate making the bulbs bigger rather than making seeds. You can cook and eat the flowers like other vegetables. You can saute or add it in your soups. It tastes like asparagus once it's cooked. April 15th. 194 days from planting. This garlic is catching up with the other one. It is growing bigger and producing more leaves. April 15th. 166 days from planting. This garlic is starting to turn brown. I guess it is maturing. April 20th. 199 days from planting. This garlic was still catching up growing. But the stem was not as big as the other one. I guess there is a nutrients that was lacking that the other one has. I guess it was from the soil. The soil on this side was used multiple times of planting. I used this part of the garden usually for flowers, while the other one is just used for vegetables and just started for gardening recently. It still has a lot of nutrients and minerals. April 20th. 185 days from planting. This garlic stopped growing and some leaves are turning more brown. But I'm not sure if this is the right time to harvest, because I was confused. I planted this garlic later than the other one. The other one should mature first. I've learned from before that once your garlic is turning brown, you should harvest it. The color of the leaves will give you a signal that the covering of the bulb is drying. You should harvest the garlic once the brown leaves are half brown so you can store better. The skin can protect the cloves. Example, if you have 7 leaves, if you already have 3 to 4 leaves are brown, it is time to harvest. I decided to wait longer at this time. April 26th. 191 days from planting. I decided to harvest the garlic. The reason was that the garlic started to fall into the ground. It means the stem is no longer strong and it will start to dry. I haven't experienced before that I waited too long. The garlic's cloves separated and started to grow again. This is a garlic that is ideal to store. The skin is intact and the cloves are well covered. This is what I'm talking about. Once you're late harvesting, the cloves will start to separate and will start the cycle again, individually. I was surprised. The garlic are actually big. This was the biggest garlic we harvested. April 29th, when we decided to harvest the first garlic that we planted. This is just to compare with the other garlic that we planted later. This is the comparison of the two garlics. The first one that we planted on October 3rd was smaller, compared to the other one that we planted later. It was 14 days difference. My conclusion is that, even if you're late in planting, you can still catch up with the size of your garlic. Just put more nutrients and minerals to your soil. The number of days you planted the garlic will not determine how big is your garlic. What matters most is the nutrients and minerals in the soil and the sunlight. To remove the soil from the garlic, leave the garlic for at least couple of days away from direct sunlight. Let it air dry, then cut the roots with scissor. Careful not to damage the garlic. You have to cure the garlic before storing. To cure the garlic, let it air dry for several days. Preferably at least 2 weeks. Put it away from direct sunlight. Once you air dried the garlics, the other skins will easily come off. That's the time you can remove the dirty skin and clean the garlic. Then you can store the garlic. I hope you learned from this video. Press subscribe and share to support my channel. Press the bell button to be notified with my upcoming videos. Thank you.